My name is Ben Church. I work for a company here in the Bay Area called Airbyte. So Airbyte is a data platform, right? It's an integration layer where we take data from all your disparate sources, right? You can have them in your ads platforms, you can have them in other databases, you can have them in random APIs, and we help you wrangle them and put them where you want it to go, whether that's a analytics data store or somewhere else. So my role at Airbyte is I'm just a engineer. Specifically, I work on the connector ops team. So I'm responsible for taking our connector code, so the things that either gets data out or puts data somewhere you need it, taking that code, putting it into containers, certifying them, and ultimately releasing them to either our open source platform or our cloud platform for use. I think the majority of developers and engineers or anyone technical probably is using AI in their workflow in some way. On the technical side, right, Copilot is something that I'm using daily. Right? I'm using ChatGPT to answer and search for questions daily. When it comes to some more like bespoke use cases, I'm finding myself with my own personal projects really gravitating towards answering questions, solving problems using these large language models. In the talk I gave today, that was how do I interpret all my Strava data better? Looking ahead, I've got my eyes on how can I create dashboards more declaratively, right? How can I go from data to UI in a simpler way? There's a few things rattling around the back of my head, but mostly day to day, it's Copilot. There's one talk on why you shouldn't use Haskell as a startup. That's a personal pain point for me, so I'm curious to see what they're talking about there. I've always got a long list. I think anyone who likes to tinker and build stuff will their list exceeds time, right? I mentioned there's some tinkering I want to do on how do I go from structured data to dashboards. There's another piece of I think these models will be really good at scraping context out of websites. And I kind of want to take that one step further with, can you scrape some really interesting marketplaces like Unity 3D has models for sale? I'm really curious what's the most popular model to purchase in there where you don't typically have that. However, life's busy, life's full. I'd be curious if I get to it. I have a child on the way due in February, so I'm sure that will take up time. And I just inherited an old 1957 Triumph motorcycle, which I'm going to piss off so many of the old guys on my street because I want to convert it to an electric, and that's also in the backlog. So we'll see where the year takes me. So this is my first time at Scale by the Bay. This is actually my first time in Oakland. And I think if I had a friend who wanted to come down here, it's a twofold recommendation. One, I spent yesterday walking around Oakland, checking out a couple of breweries. Doka Beer was one. I was walking along the water to get here today, and it's a cool city. It's fun. The people are nice. There's a lot to do here. I would for sure come back. So I think any pitch to a conference is, what's the location? Because it's always more about than just the talks. On the other side of the recommendation, though, I think Scale by the Bay, because of its location and because of the people who are putting it on, it's attracting a really high bar of technical leaders and thinkers and attendees. So all the conversations I've had here and the talks I've seen so far have been fantastic. They've been interesting. They've left me with something I didn't have before. So that'll be my recommendation. Oakland's awesome, but also the people that are attending here will kind of give you new perspectives.